Good morning. Welcome, everybody, to Coffee and Headlines. This is our morning get together live here on Facebook, where we take a look at what's going on out there. We look at headlines from our city, from our state, and our country. And we look at your questions, ideas, and suggestions. We try to connect with all of this so that we can have a better connection with each other, with our city, with what's going on out there. Headlines. Are you channeling Albert, says Karen Miller, who saw that I wrote raicilla. I have raicilla related news today, so that's why I wrote raicilla in my earlier comment. But I knew that I would get Albert's attention because we know that Albert loves his raicilla. Anyhow, here we are. I have news, important and interesting news to share. I have some mundane stuff. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. So we might as well get started. And we start with a black screen. Nice, Paquito, nice. Let's see. That's more like it. Okay, so a couple of days ago, I told you that the two important things that we're missing as far as our new mayor is concerned is his appointment of a new cabinet, which will happen little by little, I'm sure, and the final determination of who is going to be part of City Hall, the City Council, and how each one of the parties are going to be represented. And that information is now available. And as you can see on the screen, the Partido Verde or Green Party will have 10 council members, including Luis Munguia, our new mayor. Then the Movimiento Ciudadano will have 3 council members, including Ramon Guerrero, who was one of the other candidates to the mayor position. And then the Morena Party will have 2 council members, including, of course, Chuyita Lopez, who was also a candidate, and Luis Jesus Escoto, who, if I recall correctly, has been in charge of the Department of Culture. And then the Futuro Party will have 1 council member, and that will be Melissa Madero. The entire list is on this Facebook post that I'm referencing today. And let us remember that these appointments, or the percentages of City Hall council members per party, has something to do with the number of votes each party received. It's a complicated equation, but these are the names I thought you would want to know. And moving right along, the date in which the Italian tall ship Amérigo Vespucci, sorry about that black screen, let me fix that really quickly. Boom. The date is approaching, and more details have been made public. The majestic vessel will be in Puerto Vallarta on June 20, 21st, and 22nd, welcoming visitors from 10 a.m. to noon and then from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. on all 3 days. To check it out and to visit the vessel, you must go to the maritime terminal and enter going through their security protocols. Now, this may be interesting to some, and I'm just curious on your take on this news item. One of the largest tourism platforms in Latin America is called Despegar, which means to take off. So we use despegar.com or .com to make reservations for this, that, and the other. And as the summer vacation period nears, they have revealed interesting news. The preferred destinations for Mexican nationals are beach destinations, and there is no surprise there. What I found interesting is that most Mexican nationals would rather stay at a 4 or 5-star hotel in an all-inclusive package and not at an Airbnb. The consideration there seems to be that everything is less expensive that way, or so the article claims. Regardless, the good news is that some hotels in town are already reporting as much as 85% occupancy during the summer vacation period. So what is your choice when you travel? Do you want to stay at a hotel? Do you want to stay at an Airbnb? Does it depend on the situation? For me, it really boils down to where I'm going, who I'm traveling with, and what the expectation of the trip is. I had a great birthday trip last year with a bunch of friends, so we all knew each other very well, so it made sense for us to stay at an Airbnb. But sometimes I just want to clear my throat. I think that's better. Sometimes I just want to be pampered, and sometimes I do prefer a hotel stay. So what do you enjoy more? What are the advantages for you or disadvantages for you? Just curious on that one. And this one is also sort of interesting when it comes to President-elect Claudia Sheinbaum. So many questions await, and some of these questions are more mundane than others. Of course, many are wondering how her cabinet will be conformed and whether she will continue President López Obrador's tradition of morning press conferences or not. But some out there are actually wondering where she will live. Presently, she lives in a rented apartment with her husband, Jose Maria Tarriba. And what is clear to her is that she is not planning to live in Los Pinos. For those of you that don't know, Los Pinos has been the presidential residence in Mexico City for many years. It used to be Mexico's equivalent to a White House. But when President López Obrador came into office, it was turned into a cultural center. In past statements, Claudia Sheinbaum has affirmed that anyone governing must live in median conditions, I quote, no bodyguards, no special vehicles, and no distancing from the people. She has also affirmed that there cannot be a rich, as in wealthy, government surrounded by poverty. President López Obrador has been living in a small apartment within the National Palace, and she might move there, or she may not, but neither one of these options has been confirmed yet. However, that take of hers, that no governor or no government should be rich beyond the population's means, says a lot about what Morena has been bringing to the table for this current presidential period, and how it seems to ruffle the feathers of many upper-class Mexican nationals out there. Let's turn over to the weather just to see what's going on out in the world. Yesterday, it smelled like rain, but I didn't see any. And Snarky Weather says, does anyone actually know how to predict the weather? Because I have no fucking clue what I'm doing here. Oh, that deserves a drum roll, if I can find one. It is 30 degrees out there right now. Humidity is at 75%. And our weather forecast for today says we are going to have a humid day with overcast skies, plus some patches of sun shining through, a high of 31, and a low of 25. Tomorrow, Thursday, a humid day with partly cloudy skies, a high of 32 and a low of 26. And then on Friday, we can expect clear skies in the morning with partly cloudy skies in the afternoon, a chance of rain of 33%. We like that. And a high temperature of 32 and a low temperature of 26. Moving right along, pum 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 pum. This is what I'm looking for. And that's, yes, I wanted to show you this shameless plug. And where is that? No, that's not what I want to show you right now. I want to show you this one. We'll leave the shameless plug for last. Telmex has announced on their Twitter or X account that starting yesterday, users will have access to higher internet speeds without any extra charge. This applies to both residential and business accounts. Of course, I haven't explored the fine print yet and wonder if this applies to folks that have optical fiber connection only or to all infinitum users. It is worth recalling that not all colonias in Puerto Vallarta have optical fiber connection yet. I happen to know that my colonia doesn't have it yet, or at least it didn't a few months ago. I haven't checked in a while, so we'll see what's going on. And now, as far as my shameless plug, I do want to share this one. It comes from my dear friend Tony Mora of La Bodega de Tony in Versalles. It's a small wine shop that also offers a lovely tapas menu, so you can either just stop by for wine and beverages, or you can actually sit down and enjoy a meal. And Tony's promoting a raicilla tasting in which, because it's Father's Day month, you can bring your father and your father gets in for free. The promotion is available through the entire month of June, and the tasting is 190 pesos without a food pairing and 290 pesos with a food pairing. This is a tapas operation, so don't expect a lot of food, but what you can expect, though, is a knowledgeable sommelier, a super friendly guy that also has bottled his own raicilla, and it is absolutely delicious. And of course, a comfortable air conditioning environment for you to enjoy your raicilla immersion if you are not familiar with this lovely Mexican spirit that some of us love very much. And last but not least, before we start our chit-chat section, once again, a reminder, episode 13 of The Spotlight is this afternoon, and we have 3 guests. We're going to welcome Brothers Slam and Sean Yuen from the holistic clinic Sati Sana. They're going to tell us about some of their programs and a special event that is coming up. We're also going to hear from the nice folks behind Raíces Chocolatería, a relatively new source of locally made organic chocolates, and I believe they also have an anniversary coming up. And last but not least, we're going to have a conversation with Rihanna of The Office, a lovely bar in Versalles, and she's going to tell us about their new El Rey Lounge in Versalles, which is opening to the public on Saturday. I was fortunate enough to get on the guest list for tomorrow, so I'm going to go take some photos and some video to check it out and to share with you. And with all that said, let me see, pum pum pum, what do we have here in terms of comments from you? Let's see. I see good mornings and good afternoons. Thank you so very much for those. Kathy is taking a break from painting. I went to a painting party yesterday. I've never been to a sip and paint party before. I'm terrified of canvases, so it was one of the most anxious experiences I've had in a long time. It was terrifying, but it was so gratifying because I was surrounded by dear friends and nobody was critical of anyone, and we were guided by this wonderful lady. And now I can say I have painted a canvas. But it was a very healthy reminder of what happens when you go outside of your comfort zone. And I did, and it was okay. Oh, I had something else that I wanted to show you. Let me put it on the screen. Just in case you're wondering about my very mundane life, Luna got a new carpet, a new rug, a new rug. She sits on top of this crate next to me whenever I'm doing the broadcast, and I thought she would be all excited about her new rug, and I summoned her with a treat container, and she showed up. And of course, she didn't give a shit about her new rug. She wanted to learn more about the treats that I had prepared for her. But ultimately, she looked down and she went like, "Thank you, Dad. I kind of like this." So there you have it. Happy ending. Luna has a new rug, and I got rid of more surplus yarn. Yay. Now, back to your comments. Let's see what else we have. Doody-doody-doo. Devin and Angela from Toronto, missing Puerto Vallarta so much. Well, I'm grateful that you're staying connected with Puerto Vallarta through coffee and headlines. If there's anything you want to know about or anything we can publish or share so that you don't feel homesick, we'll be happy to do that. Brian, again, that was a lovely party. Some people may be curious to learn where you got in touch with this lady that coordinated the paint and sip experience. We all got to draw to paint Katrinas, which was a lot of fun. So if you want to share that with me, Brian, I'll be happy to pass it on. Let's see what else. Gustavo says happy hump day from Fluvial. Thank you very much. Barbara is attending a film screening of Twice Colonized. Highly recommended if it comes to your area. I haven't heard about this just yet, but it sounds exciting. Carmen is around in case anybody has any questions about their upcoming public dinner, Yucatan Taste Adventure. You may recall that last week we had a great conversation with Carmen in the spotlight about Yucatan ingredients, and we were all hungry after we had that conversation. Let's see. Pum pum pum. More and more hellos. Let's see. Comments about hotels. Michal says hotels are great on vacation, just don't like the all-inclusive. I would not mind the all-inclusive option if I was going to a place where the hotel was the main attraction. But otherwise, I agree with you, Michal. There's so much out there to explore wherever I go, and I'm so curious that I do want to see what is available elsewhere. So oftentimes, if one goes to an all-inclusive and ends up eating elsewhere, you feel like, you're spending more money than you would if you just stayed within the hotel. Let's see. Angelica says, I guess in Spanish that boat is Amérigo Vespucci in honor of him because America was named after him. That is correct, Angelica. The vessel was actually, it's relatively not old. It was built in the early 20th century. I was reading on the Wikipedia entry more about it, and I will share more information about it as the date gets closer. Boom. Albert says he would never choose an all-inclusive unless there was no other choice. Fair. Again, sometimes I like that, sometimes I don't. We like hotels with kitchenettes when we travel. I hear ya. Having a fridge never hurts. We did all-inclusive once. It was okay. Not being big drinkers, we felt a bit out of place. You know where I would do an all-inclusive? I would do an all-inclusive here in Puerto Vallarta. If I wanted just like an overnight, leave me alone staycation, I would go to an all-inclusive in Vallarta because, I already know the food. So it's not like I would have the urge to go out and enjoy other restaurants. Laura asks, how would the underpass work? Would it go by the Malecon area? where the big Katrina was. No, no, Laura. The underpass that we discussed is in the Ixtapa. No, Las Juntas. Las Juntas intersection, which is north of the airport. It's a completely different part of the city. Pum pum pum. Kelly says hotel room has to have a large bathtub. My condo only has a shower. I hear you. I hear you. We all have different idiosyncrasies about hotel rooms. I like a large size hotel room, even if I'm just going to use it mostly for sleep. Laura says, as far as vendors, why not create a joint flyer for all in the area, work as a team? Oh, Laura, it's such a complicated issue. It's a cultural issue. In general, I think the vendors that we were talking about yesterday could go a long way in learning how to self-promote. Your idea is admirable. How it would be implemented is a mystery to me. But thank you for that. Pum pim pum pum. Harold says Airbnb versus all-inclusive. The latter would be preferred if you have kids with you, kids club, nearby restaurants liked by the kids. Fair enough. Laura says Cookie Star, please go. Let us know. I sell cookies. It's a lot of fun. I'm going there when I come. Yay. Let's see what else. Oh my goodness. There's a long one here from Devin. We were lucky to have visited Puerto Vallarta in April and stayed in an Airbnb in Bucerias this time, and it was beautiful. Walking distance to lots of restaurants, coffee shops, and places to visit. We got to visit La Cruz and took the bus, and it was awesome place on Sundays as there's a market with vendors. Absolutely. Fresh fish as well. We also got to visit Sayulita for a day, Las Animas Beach, and Conchachinas. Oh my God, you had a really, really rich vacation. I love it. Missing Puerto Vallarta each day, and we cannot wait to book for 2025. We stayed in Zona. Zona, I love it. For those of you that are not insiders, Zona must be Zona Romantica, which is a misnomer, but let's not even get into that. I understand what you're saying. We stayed in Zona in 2023, which is Emiliano Zapata, by the way. And again, didn't have an all-inclusive, but we prefer going out to see different beaches and try out different restaurants in Puerto Vallarta. What is clear to me, and thank you for the good wishes, Devin, is that you must be really Puerto Vallarta sick because of the detail in your comment. I love it. Thank you so much for sharing. Excuse me. Frank says, the Mexican nationals we know mostly come from Guadalajara, say the food at the Todo Incluido hotels is no good. About a month ago, we suggested to a husband and wife from Guadalajara that we meet at Whiskey Kitchen, and they loved it. I have my reservations personally about that statement made by the travel platform, because I'm very mindful of the broad range of travel budgets in Mexico. Some people, I think the only thing that the people from that platform can attest to are the people that actually reserve through them. But I'm sure there's a lot of Mexican nationals that don't even go through a platform and they take other options. But I hear you. I mean, personally, I don't go to a hotel that has food included expecting extraordinary food. Then again, I'm not that kind of traveler. And can appreciate that some people would rather eat other things. Let's see what else. Barbara says, on holidays, I prefer Airbnbs due to the space and kitchen. See, I get lazy. I don't want to cook when I go on vacation. And that's just me. Like last year for my birthday, I was very clear. We can stay on an Airbnb and have a lot of fun, but I'm not interested in cooking. Tony sells the best raicilla, says Albert. Thank you for that endorsement. One tastes like chocolate. Yes, it does. And then Laura says, love the Luna picture yesterday. Kitty love. We have a cat named Felix. Hang in there. I saw my eyes almost pop for a second. Let's see. You are so chatty today, everyone. Stan says, I love the Satisana Clinic. Lamb and his brother are top notch. Such a relaxing, healing environment. Stan, how was your trip to the United States? I hope you came back and had a good time up north. Let's see what else we have. You guys like Luna. I appreciate that. She is my everything. Linda and I are staying at an all-inclusive in Ciudad de Mexico next month, Mexico City. Never been to one, so it will be interesting. We want to hear more about that. I love it. Many comments. Oh, Carmen, if you're still there. Betsy tried to make a reservation for 3, but the software wouldn't confirm. Can you help me? Thanks. And this is for the Yucatan cooking dinner. Daniel! My dear Daniel, my technical know-how. Hugs to you, my friend. Hola, cluster. Miss you all. When are you coming back? Please let me know. Give Oprah a break, seriously. We used to take a group of us from Ajijic to Guayabitos and stayed in a large all-inclusive requested housing without children. Los Cocos, perhaps his name. Great fun when you're with a mob. Yes, I know that hotel, and it is definitely an all-inclusive. It's definitely a lot of fun if you are in that mindset. Interesting comments about all-inclusives. Thank you so very much. We are all different creatures, and what's most important is that we identify, I suppose, what is important to each and every one of us when we travel, and that we connect with that, because ultimately vacations are for that, to connect with whatever it is that we need or we feel we need. But enough of that, enough of coffee and headlines. I think we've had enough. No, I'm just kidding. I look forward to this afternoon. If you've nothing better to do, please join us for the Spotlight at 4 o'clock live, or catch it later on. I am so glad that more and more people are looking to make connections with a captive audience, and here at Coffee and Headlines, we're happy to provide. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, and I'll see you again tomorrow morning. Take care.